Hey guys, this is Mr. Recaps. In this video, I'm going to explain a movie called 2021, released in the year 2021. I'm warning you for spoilers. Stay tuned. The story starts with an eye opening and the sound of breathing in the background. A woman can be seen lying down on a man, and both are naked. She is attempting to stand, but she failed. She put her hand on her chest and the other on the man's face. The man made an attempt to calm her down. However, she screamed that she wants to leave and asks where her clothes are and who the man is. The man also inquired who she is. She tries to pull off, but the man asks her not to because he is being hurt. He told her not to move and that he thinks they are stuck together. She didn't stop pulling off herself. "Don't touch me," she yelled fiercely. He asked her to stop shouting because his head was aching. They tried to figure out the situation and she started screaming for help. He yelled angrily at her to stop moving. She began blaming him for the circumstances. They were both confused, but the man appeared to be more composed. They are now calmly attempting to comprehend why they are stuck, and they have discovered that they have been stitched together from the abdomen. She started weeping, and the man laid her on his side. He asked her the last thing she remembered. She told him that she left her house to meet her husband and asked him the same thing. He told her that he had a date. He went on to saying that they had to be drugged. The man mentioned a few drugs, including Rohypnol, scopolamine, and Scoop. She asked him, startled, how he knows all of this and what world he lives in. He tells her that these medications are used by rapists. "What? You raped me?" she asked. He tried to calm her down by telling her that he had done nothing wrong. She started pushing him. Suddenly, she noticed a needle mark on her hand and told him that he had sedated her. They both began to scan the area. On a wall, the woman noticed two identical paintings. "It's as though they're staring at us," she said. The man tried to figure out where they were. He soon finds out that they may be in a hotel room. The woman denied him. Outside, it was storming. She told him that they had been sedated and drugged before being sewn together. With agony in her eyes, she closed her eyes and made him aware that he would be her prime suspect until he was proven innocent. They didn't know if it was day or night. Their clothes, watches, and cell phones were also taken by whoever did this to them. But there were beautiful earrings in her ears. She promptly removed the earrings and informed him that they did not belong to her. He inquired whose were they, but she was unaware of it. She notices a phone on the side table. They might be able to use it to ask for help. He inquired whether she had any jealous boyfriends. She informed him of her marital status. She urged him to consider why anyone would do such a thing to them. Is there any link between them? She asked him a few questions to see if they shared any common interests. He said he's 38 years old, lives near the industrial park, is an orphan, and works at a port. The woman, on the other hand, was 33 years old, from Augusta Park, with no siblings and has a job in a clothing store. Finally, they discovered they had nothing in common. A remote control was found by the woman. He also informed her about the cameras. It's possible they're being filmed. They tried to slide to the end of the bed so they could make a phone call. They were successful and were able to reach one side. The woman is now seated on his legs. During that time, the man introduced himself as David, and she told her name Sarah. They are now attempting to stand up together and have fallen. They tried once more and eventually stood up and began walking towards the table. Sarah picked up the phone, but it was inoperable. They both made their way to the door. Sarah began pounding on the door and yelling for help. They then proceeded to inspect the restroom. He assisted her in using the restroom. During that time, his eyes were closed. It's now his turn to pee, so she assisted him in sitting down. They were wrapping themselves in towels when unexpectedly light went out. When the light came back on, they discovered a pill by the sink. Because Sarah's head hurts, David asked her to take it. They exited the restroom and began going through the drawers. With earrings in his hand, David opened the drawer. They discovered two Bibles and a photo with Rita's name inscribed on it. This girl is unknown to them both. Sarah found a hole in one of the paintings. When David slid the painting, he found a camera. He was sure they were watching them. Suddenly, the phone rings. When Sarah picked up the phone, he listened to some music, and she told David that this was Mozart's Requiem, his favorite piece of music. David was unable to understand the situation. Sarah told him that this was done by her husband, Mario. She added more about her husband, saying her husband is a science and philosophy geek. Mario is also fascinated by the number 2, on which David inquires, why 2? Sarah explains how the number is the lowest prime number. It's the second Motzkin number. Plato, Pythagoras, they already knew how important it was and how it elaborates yin, yang, female, male, and the body, the soul. Sarah was trying to understand the identical stuff around them. 2 Bibles, 2 identical paintings, and his favorite music on the cell phone. She told David that 2 weeks ago, Mario left because he was convinced that she had an affair. She got a message from him saying that Mario wanted to meet her, but she can't remember where. David said that Mario brought her here so that he could confess. She inquired if that was the case, and if so, why is David here? David asks if Mario is capable of killing her, to which she replied yes. He told her that they would get out of here soon. They opened the window to see where they were and discovered that they were too far away from the city. David punched the washroom mirror and took a piece of mirror to cut the stitches. His hand was shaking with fear. He asked her to do it. She cut 1 stitch and found out that they had taken out a piece of their skin. David immediately remembered something and began to tell her about it. A man offered him $80,000 to sleep with his wife 2 days ago. When Sarah inquires about his appearance, she discovers that it is Mario. David said to her that he hadn't offered this much money before. She slapped and bit him violently. The phone suddenly began to ring. Sarah was persuaded by David that the only way they had a chance was to negotiate with him. Sarah stated that if Mario is involved, there will be no negotiation. The phone begins to ring once more. Sarah picked up the phone. The person on the other end of the line inquired about the room. David snatched the phone and requested that he release them. Sarah informed David that it wasn't her husband when the phone was disconnected. David instructs her to look at the picture they found in the Bible carefully and attempt to think. Sarah appears to be exhausted and in discomfort. The light is turned off for a minute, and when it is turned back on, they notice a box on the table. When they open it, they discovered lasagna inside. Sarah started screaming all of a sudden. "Mario, please stop. You were right. I've cheated on you lots of times." Then they began to engage in romantic foreplay in order to provoke Mario. A man walks into the room and tells them to stop. However, they continue, and when the man tries to intervene, David kicks him. The man was unable to withstand the strain and slammed into the table's corner, collapsing instinctively. Sarah discovered that the person was not her husband. They both sneak out of the room to a hallway, where they find some news cutouts and picture frames showing conjoined kids and a couple. Sarah recognizes the woman in the photograph and begins confessing to David. She reveals her true age, which is 38 years old. David responds that he was born in La Casa de la Caridad and Sarah was born in a clinic in Santa Marta. David says that his birth certificates were falsified and that he has a scar. They both understood they were the picture's conjoined twins. Rita was their mother, and the man was their biological father. They tried to get to the door, but a barking dog drew their attention to the window. They slammed the window open and peer out, only to find themselves staring at a painting on the wall rather than the outside world. Then they open the door and walk into a room full of caged animals. They realize that the creatures have been sewn together. They discovered a pistol next to a cage that belonged to Sarah. Further investigation reveals a dead body on the floor, which Sarah believes to be her husband Mario. David asks if she killed him, but the father's voice reveals that he did kill Mario, and he informed them that he was the one who stitched them together to make the family whole. Sarah raises the revolver towards the man. 2 gunshots are heard as the biological father tries to take the gun. They all collapse to the ground, indicating that the man had been shot. David announces that he, too, has been shot in the knee and is unable to move. Sarah grabs for the envelope opener on the table nearby, and David instructs her to cut the stitch. Finally, they got separated. Sarah moves towards the door in search of help, but it is locked. She searches for the key and finds it, opens the door and flees the house, which is covered by snow. Inside the house, David reaches for the gun and shoots his father on the head. After a few steps outside, Sarah falls down wounded. Both Sarah and David die at the end, and a yin-yang sign is portrayed. They enter the world together and exited together. And the movie has come to an end. If you've got a passion for movies and everything about them, Mr. Recaps is your destination. Subscribe for more videos like this, hit the notification bell icon, and leave a like to support the channel. Thank you for watching, and I will see you tomorrow. Until then, stay safe, peace.